Hello, my name is Vedika Handa and I'm currently a fourth year student studying biology at the University of British Columbia here in Vancouver, Canada. I moved here from Dubai and I truly know how overwhelming it can be when you're planning your studies abroad. So I'm super excited to share my journey when it came to how I chose UBC and managing academics here that are so different from how we used to study back home, your coursework, extracurricular activities, finances. I'm sharing my journey so that it could help some of you and make you feel more excited about your journey ahead. Now, when it came to shortlisting universities, I had a very simple checklist. It has to be reputed for the program that I want to get into, so biology, life sciences. It has to have tons of opportunity for undergrad research because that's an experience I wanted to have early on. And lastly, it has to have a very positive and engaged community of students. And UBC checked all of those boxes for me. UBC has such a beautiful campus and it is one of the top programs for biology, which made it a very easy pick. Application-wise, the UBC application mainly focuses on the personal profile. You do not need SATs to apply to the UBC, nor do you need a statement of purpose. Your personal profile is the most important aspect. The personal profile is a series of essay-based questions which involve asking you about your leadership experiences, your extracurricular activities, the student you are beyond your grades. This is the place where you can be personal, be reflective, talk about your experiences and your unique story. And I started this pretty early on. It was a culmination of all the extracurricular activities I did in school and the things I was interested in, why I was interested in them. All they want to see is how dedicated you are to experiencing new things and learning new things, and you should be good to go. As an international student, there are a few additional requirements, one of them being the English language requirement. As a CBSE student, even though I'm from an English medium school, it doesn't really consider that as English credits, so you do have to do an additional test. I did the IELTS. I promise you, very easy if you are able to fluently speak English. Apart from that, in order to get specifically into the science faculty, you need to have done math, chemistry, and physics in your senior years. Okay, for fees. Your tuition, if you're a science student and if you're taking five courses per term, your tuition should range from around 44 to 45,000 Canadian dollars. The norm is to take 5 courses per term, but you could take 4 or 6 depending on how you want to structure your degree. But it should be 22,000-ish for each term, which is 4 months. That's tuition aside. If we were to talk about costs of living, which include food and rent, mine varied from year to year depending on whether I was living on campus or off campus. If you're living on campus, your rent should be significantly lower, and UBC has a special system where first years get guaranteed on-campus housing, so you get to live in one of these 3 places: Vanier, Totem Park, and Orchard, and depending on where you're placed, your fee is different. I lived in Vanier in my first year, and my rent was around 13k. I lied, 15k, which includes food from the meal plan as well as rent, and this was for a single room with a communal bathroom. That was my first year's living costs. In second year, I lived off campus and my rent was, warning, huge number, 19k for the year, and this is excluding food. And I shared this house. I had a single room and the other room I shared with my friend. So that was 19k without the food. And my third year, I got on-campus housing. I live in Marine Drive. So there's different student campuses, and depending on where you're placed, again, that's different rent. And my rent is around 13k for the year. This is minus the food. But Vancouver is a very expensive city, and the cost of living is significantly higher in Vancouver than the national average. So be aware of that if you're planning to study abroad in UBC. For the finances, let me tell you about my personal experience here at UBC itself. If I were to recall my first few weeks at UBC, the experience that comes to mind is my Jumpstart experience. Now, UBC has a program called Jumpstart, which is this 1 week before your first day of class, where you get paired up with a group and a bunch of mentors who are current students of UBC, and they take you around campus. They tell you about their own experiences. You can ask them questions, and these are students from the major you're planning to apply to, from the department that you're currently in. And the kids you're paired up with are also freshmen who are coming here to UBC for the first time. They're also trying to make friends, trying to fit in, are hoping to go into the same degree as you are. So you get this jumpstart essentially into your university life without the pressure of academics. So if you are planning to go to UBC, I would definitely recommend the jumpstart experience. When it comes to differences in academics, the first thing I kind of want to mention is how informal professor-student interactions are. You're expected to call them by their first name, which was so awkward for me. But apart from that, the way you study for your tests is very different. In CBSE courses, it's very understanding plus memorization based. However, in university, especially UBC, they test your critical thinking. For most courses, I was allowed a cheat sheet, which essentially could be anything written on a piece of paper, and I can take it into my exam hall. And 8 out of 10 courses, I took a calculator in with me. So there's different skills being tested, and the way you study for it is super different. In CBSE, I remember it was repetitive memorization techniques that I used. I used to teach it to myself and say it aloud again and again. But in UBC, it's more hands-on. If I'm studying biology, there's normally a tutorial or a lab associated with it where I'm actually looking at the structures I'm supposed to understand, and I'm supposed to be able to predict actions. I'm supposed to be able to explain and debate concepts. Both equally important skills, but different ways of being tested. Another difference is the fact that studies here are very independent. Now, if you are someone who is not very academically motivated, if you aren't the only one prioritizing your academics, it's going to be super difficult in order to keep up with the academics here. There are no reminders, there's no one checking up on you, making sure you're done your work. Everybody is for themselves. The professors are there for everyone to access, and it's up to you whether you want to reach out for help or not. They're not going to be specially coming to you, which is so different from school, where we had our teachers dote on us and make sure everyone's on the same page. Here it's truly up to you. There is no fixed timetable. You are the ones deciding when you're going to study, whether you're going to classes, whether you want to submit the assignment early or later during the weekend based on how you work. Okay, that was a lot of yapping, but the main thing I want you to take away is that nobody has it figured out, I promise you. And if I can do it, you can definitely do it too. I know that applications and different countries having different application processes is super stressful and may feel like the end of the world, but you're definitely going to get into the university that's in your destiny and is the complete and perfect fit for you. My last advice would be open to change. Studying abroad isn't just about academics and your career plan. You're going to be growing into an adult, growing into the best version of yourself. You're going to be learning essentially how to stand on your own, and that is a very difficult and challenging experience, amplified by the fact that you're in a completely foreign country, but it makes it so much more worth it. You're going to learn so many intangible skills apart from just how to study, what are my study techniques, my career goals, and how to get experience in the workplace. But you're also going to be knowing how to do taxes, learning how to rent, learning how to manage your bank statements and your bank accounts, learning how to cook, how to clean, how to manage a house. You're going to be going through a whole learning journey, and I wish you the best of lucks, and I have complete and utter faith in you, and I hope you get into any university if you're choosing. And if it's UBC, please reach out to me. I would love to show you around. But anyways, best of luck. I hope this was helpful to you.